I am Cynthia Griffin, and I am the originator or the founder of the Juneteenth celebration here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. This year would be our 31st year. Started 31 years ago. I worked in a beauty salon at that time, and I came across a newspaper in our lobby in the beauty salon. And this newspaper came from the Wadsworth Anthem in Hartford. And it talked about this holiday called Juneteenth. At that time, I had never heard of it, but for some reason, God put it in my spirit. I got excited about it. Now, I need to go back just a bit, if I may. Previously, maybe 2 years or so, I had gotten involved with a man who had an organization called the African American Association. His name was Joseph Williams. He put a parade on the 4th of July, celebrating that Independence Day. Okay. I was coming from Seaside Park that Saturday, and I just happened to come up on the parade, and it was lining up at McLeavy Green. This young lady who's no longer with us, her name is Shirley Bean. She says to me, "Cynthia, get in the parade. We're in a parade." And I'm looking around. I didn't see a lot of people. Actually, it may have been 5 or 6 cars. But I was going that way, so I got in the parade. Okay. So, of course, I joined in. We went on over to Newfield Park. And, not Newfield Park, I'm sorry, Seaside Park. We got over there, had a cookout and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, all these black people in Bridgeport, this is the best we can do for an African American parade. Had no clue about a parade or any of that. But I'm just looking at like the 5 or 6 cars, which was supposed to be an African American parade. And that just didn't set right with me as far as all of these people in this city, we can do better than that. That was my thought. Why I had a clipboard in the trunk of my car, I don't know. But I went in the trunk of my car, I got a clipboard, and I went around to all of the people that had ended up at Pleasure Beach and asked them if they would like to make this parade better than what we did today. They all said yes. I took names. Well, anyway, that was the beginning of me getting involved with the parade. That following year, I approached Joe to help Joe to make this parade better, which again was the 4th of July, their Independence Day. And I'm saying it like that because when I started asking around on the East End, the young people to support it, they told me flat out, no, I'm not celebrating that. That's not our Independence Day. Never had entered my mind that any of them would have felt that way. Okay, so now I'm thinking, makes sense, but had not thought about it. So what I did, I decided that we were going to have the 4th of July parade, Joe, with the African American Society, but what we were going to do, we were going to honor the black soldiers that died in the Civil War that never got any recognition. That was the goal. So we had a banner that said that Crispus Attucks was the first black one that died in that war. So that was what we decided to do, what I decided to do to get people to participate, and it worked. And I ran across this article in the newspaper in the salon, maybe a couple of years later. And I really do think, and I said this to several people, that God prepared me with that parade to do this one. Parade was the furthest thing from my mind. But again, we got it started that first year. My sister joined in. My sister kind of left me on the side because she got into politics. That first year, she was there and she was supportive. But there were so many other people that stepped up because they wanted to see it happen. And it was like, I want to say anything that we needed somehow came to us without any effort. At the time at Newfield Park, what we would do, we would line up on Buisness Street. We'd walk up to Newfield and go up to Stratford Avenue, down Stratford Avenue, do a U-turn, come back down Connecticut Avenue. You can imagine how that makes me feel. Just the fact that the city of Bridgeport embraced the holiday and is getting even better. Every year it gets better. Yolanda Ortiz, she was president for a year. As a matter of fact, at first the name of the organization was the Juneteenth Committee. Yolanda was president for a while and she took it a little further. She did Juneteenth of Fairfield County, and that was so we could include the surrounding towns to participate. Okay, and then after Yolanda, there was George Mintz. George Mintz was our last president. Awesome. Each person, and I say angel, they say not. And when I say my prayers, believe it or not, I thank God for the angels that he sent to carry this on, because it has to be God. Each year it gets better. We have never had an incident. It gets better and better after George Mintz, who took it to another level. Then comes Deborah Cavanis, and she is awesome. I mean, we have done so many things that I'm just so happy that she has taken over Juneteenth and has pulled all of the people that she knows, including the twins and others, as parade marshals. Because those people that she chose, the people that George chose, those people are still involved, and you're bringing other people. And one other thing, I just wanted to mention this too. The first year that we started, I used to go right around the neighborhood. You know, the kids, little friends, would get together and they form little drill teams so they could be in the parade. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, because chances are those kids wouldn't have been able to be in anybody's parade. And I was just happy that I was able to, have that happen for them. I'm telling you, each block that I would go to, and they would say, Miss Cynthia, we're going to be in the parade. And that was the time that when they would do their steps, we would give them prizes for first, second, and third prizes. That motivated them to keep doing. So I just wanted to add that to it, because I thought that was important, that the kids got so excited that they were going to be a part of something that meant something to them. June 19th, 1865, after, the president had signed that Emancipation Proclamation in 1863, and these slaves really didn't know that they were free. Now, once I think Lieutenant Granger showed up in Galveston and in that territory to let them know that they were free, it was on June 19th, 1865. Now, of course, the slaves didn't speak English. They knew it was on the 19th and they knew it was June. They made that name up, Juneteenth. As a matter of fact, when we first started doing Juneteenth, when you type it into, it would come up red because it was wrong. There was no such name. There was no such word. But now, it's out there. We all know about it. And I think now the fact that we know the last of the slaves, and I won't say the last of the slaves are free, because I can say that some of us are still not free. in the mind. But I just think it's such a great thing because we have something now to say, this is our day. We had a petition that we were passing around to the people in the city to send into DC, and this was before President Obama came there. We had been doing that. So when President Biden decided that it needed to be, and it really did need to be, I was ecstatic, just happy as I could be. Satisfaction, gratification, the fact that God put it into my spirit, and He left it for me to let everybody else know about it, along with the community. And I can't say enough how I appreciate or I thank God that the community embraced it. Thank God that this was something that they thought it was worth them getting involved in.
Hello, my name is Lynn Sistrunk, and I am a 2023 Parade Marshal for Juneteenth of Fairfield County.
My name is Doc Hardy. I'm also a Parade Marshal for Juneteenth, and I'm a radio show host at WPKN 89.5 FM here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was living down in Winston-Salem in 2007 when I first heard about Juneteenth. I had no idea what it was.
All of us parade marshals, we all belong to something, or we own a business, and each one plays a role within the Juneteenth community. So my role is to do as much as I can do to participate with someone's event, help with fundraising for the organization, spread the word.
We had a variety of fundraisers throughout the year, different types of activities that people could buy tickets for, come, and those ticket purchases, that money helped to fund the parade, the festivities, and the leftover revenues are going to be used for educational activities throughout the year. There's going to be a number of events coming up. I know there's one in August where they're going to do the event with the Amistad in New Haven. Whenever you see a Juneteenth event, it's not all about parties and balls. I think that's a misperception that some people had. All you guys are doing up there is having parties. No, we had a brunch like the week before the parade, and they had I forget her full name. I know her first name was Maisha, but she spoke about the Freeman houses and her history with her family and those houses and their history in Bridgeport. It was educational. We learned something as we ate brunch. So when you see a Juneteenth event in Bridgeport, don't just assume it's a party. It's probably an opportunity to learn something that you didn't know.
Hello, my name is Zeldana P. Powell. I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was raised in Stratford, Connecticut, and I was the 2023 Parade Marshal for the Juneteenth Festival.
And I am Alana T. Powell Johnson. I'm Aldana's twin, and we was raised in Stratford, but we live right now here in Bridgeport, and we were a part of the Juneteenth celebration. Deborah Cavanis asked us to be a part of it. What she wanted to see was a little bit more diversity with regards to our heritage. So we are African American and Native American, but we was raised as Native Americans. This is actually our third year. We were a part of the Juneteenth event for Sisters at the Shore. So we walked with Sisters at the Shore. However, throughout the years, we have visited the parade over the course of the years when it started on Newfield, when we got a little bit older, we started stopping by and seeing the parade when it was on Newfield.
Like there was a movement similar to the movement where Stevie Wonder initiated a movement to get Martin Luther King's birthday a national holiday. I felt like the same thing was kind of happening with Juneteenth nationally. So of course it became a federal holiday first, and then here in the state of Connecticut, it became a state holiday last year. So in order for something to become a federal holiday and a state holiday, there's usually a movement of people behind it. And I think that that's what happened, is that this idea that in Galveston, Texas, these people did not know they were free. 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, they found out they were free. And we're not all free until everyone's free. And I think that knowledge really inspired a lot of people to say, you know what, we need to make this known to everyone.
I definitely contribute everything Miss Griffin has done. Her and her sister were the force that brought it here to Bridgeport. What I think is different is now technology. I think that has helped a lot. We'll be able to reach more people. The media is definitely on top of it. Where before it wasn't like, I grew up, we didn't know about it when I was a little girl. I didn't know nothing about Juneteenth. As we got older, become teenagers, we started hearing, but we became more aware of our surroundings and was able to go a little bit more venture out than where we were at, where we lived. So I think that has changed too. Now,
I think the work that's done now, and I think to have Mrs. Griffin and her sister alive to see it, I think it's a blessing. And then I think that most people don't even realize, for her to have that idea, her and her sister, wherever they were, and to hear about it and see it, and to bring it back to Bridgeport, Connecticut. And to keep on pushing, because I can only imagine it probably was so hard back then for them even to start it and to keep it going.
Anytime you can get, we're 14% of the population in this country. So if you can get the entire country to be aware of what 14% is doing, I think that's amazing. I think you should really applaud that, because that's hard to do for a group that's that small a percentage of the population to affect the entire population by getting a federal holiday and then a state holiday in Connecticut and other places. Come on. Rejoice, be happy. That's the way I see it.
There was one instance when George Mintz was president. We got invited to New York to their Black History parade. George, again, anything that we needed, believe it or not, it came to us. He was going somewhere, he said, and he ran into a trailer that nobody was using. And he asked the man, what are you going to do with it? And the man told him he could have it, just for some paperwork. George ended up having a float made from that trailer so Juneteenth could have a parade, a float. I don't know if you remember seeing the Hat Ladies. They were in the Port Jefferson float, boat, whatever it was. George was the one that came up with that idea. Again, we had our own float, and George saw to that.
Juneteenth of Fairfield County is about educating people 24/7, 365 about Black history and Black culture, and so that the next generation starts off on a better platform than we did. They have the history, and hopefully this knowledge can help them to move the needle.
And I think it's wonderful when Deborah said to me, my sister wants a parade marshal, always a parade marshal. That stuck, because I was like, oh, okay. I was just thinking like it was just this 1 year and that's it. So I think that was important for me. Another part was when we was walking, my husband and my grandson and friends and family was on the sideline, and my grandson Ken, he tried to run out and get us at some point. He wanted to give us kisses, but he's 4. He's 3, and he just turned 4. So that was important for him to see us walking in the parade, and to see that's my grandma, and he was trying to get to me and my sister. I think that's going to stand out for me, for him, to know that we're doing something to also pave the way for him. That was important too, to see that our family really came out and supported us.
The children, the laughter, the children were actually able to go play away from their parents and still be okay. They weren't worried about them, just seeing in the middle of the field a whole big group of children that are just meeting. And who knows, all the parents or guardians were there, but just seeing them laughing and have a good time, that was the most gratifying part for me.
Each month or every other month, Juneteenth has some type of event. And that's to keep people aware of Juneteenth all through the year, rather than waiting like we just have a parade. That's not what we just do. We do educational things, we do scholarship, we do a few things to help the community. So I'm hoping that the people that are involved will just help us do that.